Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 82. 82 of 90. Like every time I say any of these numbers, it's so shocking. I'm sorry about my voice. I was a little sick yesterday. A little bit nauseated. I thought maybe it was just coming off the reboot and my body was getting all that out. But then I woke up today with this dry cough and barely any voice. So I'm just manifesting that it's only going to last 24 hours. And Nick and I, we were in rough shape yesterday. He came home from Alaska and flew through the night and slept about 10 minutes. And I woke up and I was sick. And so we were like 10 minutes here and there in the bedroom, like, you take a power nap, I'm going to get this done, and then I'll come up and switch out. So just forgive me. I'm going to try to talk my loudest, but if I start to lose my voice, then we'll just keep it short. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Kelly Couch. I'm an independent promoter with the company Prove It, and we are day 82 into our 90-day run. It's hard to believe. Next Thursday and Friday, most of us will be traveling down to Kentucky to our Hacking Better event. I can't wait to hear all those speakers. I'm really looking forward to David Goggins and all the doctors, just everything. I can't wait to hear it all. So, excuse me, today we are going to be talking about creative enrollment. And the reason I put that is because I think, all along this 90-day run, we've been talking about attract, connect, enroll, attract, connect, enroll. And those are the things that we need to be going back to. So many times, we'll reach out to Brian and have a question, or people will reach out to us. And it's always like, how are you attracting? How are you connecting? How are you enrolling? And it's like, we're all looking for this magic thing to do, but really we got to find that groove that works for us. How do we attract? How do we connect? How do we enroll? And then just keep doing the basics over and over. And so today I want to give you guys some new ideas. I think a lot of times when you go to events, and this is why I love the events and I love what Prove It puts on, but I always come back from the event with new little nuggets from like people I talk to in the hotel, or people I talk to in a debrief, or people I talk to before we go into the champ room or something like that. And I'm like, man, that is a great idea. Like, I need to be doing that. And so I love those little nuggets. And so today I want to give you some of those nuggets that I don't even do all of these. And as I was like collecting these, like from different Zooms I've heard or from different things I've talked to people about, I was like, man, I need to be implementing these myself because they're really good ideas. I just don't do them on a consistent basis. So I'm going to be adding them into my GMOs too. But I wanted to give you some of those so that you can say, yeah, that works for me. No, that doesn't work for me. But if it strikes something in you and you're like, that's my thing. Like, that's what I want to do. So I think, excuse me. Whew. Attracting, I'm trying to talk really loud, but it's not working. Attracting is the name of the game here. I think once you get your connect, we have so many connect tools, so many ways to connect, so many ways to enroll, and obviously making those people feel great throughout their entire journey. Like, that's our job, right? Like, we get to wake up and do that every single day. But I think with attracting, if you're not attracting people, then you're never getting to connecting and enrolling, right? So if we have to keep finding new, creative, good ways to attract people. And that's what I'm hoping to give here. And just, excuse me, I'm just going to walk through some different things and we'll go with it. So who does meditation in the morning? I will admit that when I get up early, I do a great job of it. When I don't, that's one thing I push right to the side because I'm like, I really want to get into Bible study. I really want to get into sending messages or whatever my thing is in the morning. But excuse me, I used to do it a lot. And for me, it's less about quieting my mind and more about getting focused. And so I think that it's really something I need to make sure that I'm adding back in. And I would suggest all of us, like, can we all commit to 15 minutes a day of finding some kind of meditation? And a book that I just got an audiobook is called Stress Less, Accomplish More. It basically teaches you how to meditate. So instead of me just winging it or finding ones online or anything like that, I want to be really more intentional about that. Like using meditation to accomplish more instead of just like quieting my mind. I want to like quiet it and get focused on what I'm about to do so that all of the activity I'm doing is beneficial to me. How many of us get stuck? You name it. I mean, there's 40 million examples, like scrolling Facebook for half an hour. Like, you're like, I'm going to work right now. And I'm going to attract and get new people into my business. And then 25 minutes later, you've liked a couple of photos of people that are already going to prove it, or like things like that, or you've gone on the prove it page, which is good. Like that's good support, but that's nothing that's going to attract people into your business. We've all done it. But if we could quiet our mind and then get focused for the day, when we say, okay, now's my time to work, we're going to be going into activities that are actually going to make a difference in our life, make a difference in our business. So I think, what if we stop, like if we're intentional, like what if we all stop focusing on everyone else's business, everyone's Instagram feed, everyone else's Facebook, and started looking within ourselves. Like, this is what I want to do with my meditation. Start looking in ourselves for unique ideas. If we start spending our time only on things that make us better and grow our own business, like that would be huge. And I think we all think we do that, but I think if we really get real and intentional with ourselves, we're probably not. Like, I can get stuck in that trap. Like, I'll look at my list that I keep in this book of like new names that I started conversation with, or I've been connecting with, or following up and doing the, you know, the you list and the connecting and all that. And sometimes it's short because I get stuck in all the other stuff, but it's like, you know, who are you attracting this month? I haven't, like, maybe I haven't done a great job of that. So I think that we need to be more intentional about that. Instead of, you know, we can get so caught up comparing ourselves, and we've talked about that before. Instead of comparing ourselves to someone that's 82 chapters further down the road than we are, let's do the things now so we can get to chapter 82 or get to chapter 10, wherever we're at. So some ideas. We talked about sharing your journey. I think in the beginning, I lost a lot of weight, but because I was so skeptical and so secretive about taking ketones, I didn't track it at all, right? And so all along, I've always been like, man, I really missed that opportunity. Like, I could have really taken pictures and taken measurements and done all of that. And like now when I talk about it, it's like, yeah, I lost a bunch of weight in the beginning, and then I started this. Whereas it's like, man, if I had those pictures and I had what I was eating and how I shifted everything, journaled it, I could make a million stories and posts about that. I could talk about that a lot, right? But I think just because I didn't do it in the beginning doesn't mean I can't do it now. Like, who, I know, like, there's people on here, like, I'm just going to even look, like Nayla, like, she eats keto all the time, keeps herself in super awesome shape. I think that's a way that she can track that, right? But for me, I noticed the other day when I was taking before pictures for my reboot, because Christy Jones and I are like, all right, we're going to keep each other accountable this reboot. We're going to take pictures. We're going to like make it all 60 hours. I took pictures and I was like, oh man, like, I might have fluffed up a little bit more than I wanted to over the summer, or over these last couple months, right? And I think that I got rid of my scale a long time ago because I know that my worth and even my weight, none of that matters. Like, a number is not going to determine that for me. So I got rid of that. But also because when you're losing fat and maintaining muscle, that number doesn't mean what we all make it mean, right? And so I got rid of that a long time ago. But when I took that picture, I was like, oh dang, like maybe I could stand to shed down a little bit. And I take ketones daily for so many reasons. But if I want to feel better about how I'm looking or feel better in my clothes, then I know that I can tighten up my diet a little bit, right? But what does this provide? It provides another opportunity for me to show people exactly what I'm doing, right? So I'm probably going to, this is my plan. I'm going to lead into this in my Facebook stories, maybe make a post. Like, if I were to track my keto journey and let you guys know exactly what I'm doing to take off all of that summer barbecue fluffiness or something, I don't know, however you want to say it. Like, who would be interested in watching, who would be interested in knowing exactly what I do? Get that engagement, right? You're getting all the, if you have 5 likes, great. If you have 100 likes, great. But you can see what, you know, who's interested, and then you can start engaging with those people, so that when you start to provide that journey online, you're engaging with those people, they're seeing it, and you're not just going to put your keto packs in it, but you're certainly going to include that, right? Like, if they want to see what you're eating, or if they want to see if you're intermittent fasting or how much you're moving, they're going to be watching along. And a huge part of that for me is ketones, 100%. And so if, you know, as the mental control, you know, I'm not pigging out in the morning because I have my keto, I'm going to include that in my journey. So I think that's a good way to bring people in. And I'm going to do that now. Just because I didn't do it 4 years ago doesn't mean I can't do it now. Or if you are going to commit to 90 days of exercise or 30 days of exercise, like, bring people in that journey with you. So when they're watching, like we talked about our story and ourselves and getting vulnerable outside of ketones, right? But if you're going to be doing these journeys with ketones too, I don't think there's any harm in bringing people along for that, right? So they see, you know, Shiley's working out every single day. And then they're like, oh, dang, like she did a great job. She committed for 30 days. Like, that's huge. I don't know if I've ever committed to something for 30 days. Wonder how she did that. And then they've been watching. So they see you feeding this ketone stuff in. And then you're like, man, I feel amazing. And so you've connected on something besides ketones. And then they're like, oh, I'm going to reach out and see what she's doing, because I've been watching this. Like, that's something I need right before the holidays. Or right after the holidays. We're coming into that season. So I think let's all be conscious of sharing that journey, or commit to a journey if you haven't or you want to. So that's what I'm going to be doing there. So another idea, researching whatever platform you want to be using. And I think that I've just been starting this because I think I've been good about watching. You know, I watch other people and what they do. And I'll see like, oh, they make these posts, or they make this, or this 212 live, or they do these in their stories, and that gets a lot of engagement, or this or that. But I think if we really research, like if you commit to Facebook, or you commit to Instagram, or you commit to whatever your thing is, let's dig in. Like, make part of your, you know, business growth 20 minutes or whatever it is, studying what people are doing that are successful on that platform, right? It doesn't have to be daily. You can do a weekly tip. Like, I've been looking at Instagram story tips and sharing those in my highlights on my Instagram, like little things I find that make mine stand out different than other people, right? So whatever you want to do. But I've been seeing people doing food posts. And so how's that look, right? Like, maybe my Instagram, like, it's all incorporating, it's all a process. I think all of us want to go so fast, so big, so fast. But if we could just incorporate these things over an extended period, man, like, think who you'd be attracting. But, you know, food posts. So I'm like, man, how can I incorporate that in mine? Mine's more of like, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, you know, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's serious. So I'm like, I don't really want to just start doing keto foods if I'm going to be sharing this journey. So I notice what a lot of people do, and what people really engage in, is when people do like day in the life, right? So for example, if you're going to be doing, you know, trying to slim down after whatever, before the holidays, and then you do like a day in the life. So you could do one Instagram post that has like what you woke up and had your keto, and then you had your cream, and if you're intermittent fasting, like whatever you do, if you had your, whatever you had for breakfast, whenever you have your keto, whatever you had for lunch. And then people can be like, oh, they can kind of get an idea of what you do every day, and then hop into my stories if you want to see what I'm doing each day. And then that takes them up there. So I think instead of it being like 60 days of food because they want to see what I'm doing, or meals, you know, 60 days of meals, that would be a lot of food on my thing. But you know, there's different, more creative, more effective ways of sharing that journey. And so that's what I'm going to be researching. How are people sharing this journey online without it being A, tons of food, B, all in your face, ketones, you know, sort of work those in. So I think it's about being transparent on your journey. You're sort of selling without selling, you know, that day in the life, you're including that stuff. And so people are interested. They're like, oh man, I could eat that. I could eat that. I could work out like she does. Oh, what's this nut stuff she's drinking every single day, right? It's selling without selling. So I think another idea, not even an idea, but something that we have to wrap our brains around if we want to share more ketones, is being all in on our program and all in on our products. You know, I think if you see people that are successful, and I'm not talking about even the top earners who are drinking like 17 packs a day, right? I'm talking about like, if you are all in on this program and all in on sharing this, then you have to like take your own products, right? We want to be product of our product. So whatever your journey is with ketones, if you drink electrolytes every day and you love those, share that. If you drink cream every day and you love that, share that. But go all in on your ketones and make sure that that is a part of that journey, because that's the thing you're trying to share. So share with people what you're doing and include what you're using, and people will want that, right? I think, you know, for example, like having my keto, what flavor are you having? You know, when you're sharing this in your story, like, because they're going to start to get your daily journey, your daily routine. So if you say a question like that, you just assume that everyone in the world is drinking ketones, because people want to be part of a movement. This movement is getting bigger, you guys, and I don't even know what's coming in 2020. We've heard something huge, right? So spread that net wide. Another idea that I've heard people do is having a keto group. And, you know, I think a lot of people have different ideas on how many groups are too many, or if using groups are effective for your business. So I think there's no harm in playing around with that and seeing what works for you and what you can maintain. You know, the consistency is going to be the key. So that's why I started that customer group, because I wanted a place not only to be able to engage my own customers all the time and not make them feel left out. We want them in this movement too, but for you guys to have a place to share your customers, you know, bring them into the community if you're part of this group. You know, there's a 10-day video I did in there. I didn't include my link. So it's sort of like your level of what you can maintain. Like, it has to be consistent for you. So if that works, you know, you're adding your customers in there and my 10-day video and all of that. But, and you can add all of your prospects in there, right? Even if they didn't get a 10-day, they're going to see the excitement in that video and want to try it, right? Because they're going to like, I didn't get a 10-day, but like, what is this? And I'm excited, like, hey, I'm so excited for you that you got your 10-day, whatever. But you can do this, you know, you can put them in there if you're in our team, or you can make your own. And I think making your own, personalizing it, if that's something you want to do and you want people to see your face, which you do, right? You want people to get to know you, whatever venue, whatever avenue that is. So if you want to make your own group, I would suggest putting a live video in there if it's an introduction, if it's a 10-day video of your own. Like, you feel free to copy that content I put on mine and put it on yours, right? Because you want people to be excited in that group. They're like, oh, that's the girl I met at Starbucks. Oh, look, she's getting these 10 days out. What are these 10 days, right? You're not selling it or begging for a 10-day, but if they just join that group and they want to have an awesome experience, like, here it is. We're excited about it, right? Like, they can be excited about it too if they want, or they can be in there doing the diet. There's recipes for that too. So I think, no stress. They don't have to buy it to be in there. We're posting, you know, all stuff keto. And that is a good place that you can, or we can put promos. I'm not putting that all over my Facebook at all. I probably haven't posted a promo pic that Prove It put out in a year, or whenever I learned that was a terrible idea. But in that group, or in your group, that's the place to do that. People are there raising their hand. You've put them in there because they've raised their hand and said, hey, I have been thinking about keto, or I want to try your product, or I'm not sure about it, or whatever. So they're in that group. That's a good venue to post promos and stuff. Just make sure you're putting other content in there too for the people that aren't doing the product. And I think another thing too that we need to make sure we're doing is, you know, asking your 10-day people if they have people that they want to add to that group. Just like we talked about before, you know, engaging your customers, engaging your 10 days. Like, when someone signs up for a 5-day, are you at, or signs up, like, writes their name on the petition. When someone gets a 5-day from you, are you asking them, hey, do you have any friends that might want to do this with you? Right? You could double the amount of 5 days you're getting out. Plus, you have them doing it with someone they know. So even if person number 1 isn't having a great experience or doesn't feel anything, which happens sometimes, person number 2 may have energy through the roof. And so they're going to convince person number 1 to do it for a month with them. You see what we're doing here. Same thing with this group. When you add them into the group, you meet them out or you meet them online and you're like, hey, I have a great keto group that's so good for support. It's not begging you or selling anything. We do put stuff in there about products if people are interested and when they're discounted, but it's got a lot of great recipes and all that. Do you have any friends that you might want to add in there too that you might have been talking with about this? Right? This is going to grow all your stuff just by asking, you know, and it's them asking their own friends. So I think that's a great way to do it too. Excuse me. So if you think about it, you're using attraction, you're using all the things we've learned over the past 82 days to generate followers or to generate people who are watching what you're doing. And then you're using the group, our group or your own, to generate the sales. Does that make sense? So you don't see, like, I really try to stick to 212 live. Sometimes I even post less Prove It stuff, so I need to be better about that. But I don't put tons of Prove It stuff out there. But I'm generating people who are interested in what I'm doing and interested in my life and who can relate to me. And then when we get in conversation and we're talking about keto, then I'm saying, hey, you know, do you want to be in this group? Like, it's no pressure. You can get in there. And then that's generating the sales in that group. So I think, you know, it's a different way to think about it. And that's what we all want to be doing. And so sharing this journey, that would be a way to generate people who are interested in keto. It's all about different ways of attracting and different ways of getting people interested. So now I'm going to go into three different ideas that I've heard people use. And so the first is obviously your 10-day experience. People love that 5 and 10 days, right? Like that. And you know that Nick and I blew up with those 5 and 10 days when they came out because people love that price point. Another way we heard that, my voice is starting to go, I'm sorry, that maybe you want to try, because it's up to you, right? You can go right for the 5 or 10 day, or you can go straight for, if people say, hey, I need to lose weight before the holidays, can you help me? What are they looking for? They're looking for a plan, right? People want you to tell them what to do. So another idea, instead of saying, hey, try a 10-day, find your favorite flavor, and then go that way, you can go the opposite. Start with 60 days. Hey, if you really are serious about getting this weight off for the holidays or for feeling better for the holidays, what you need to be doing is XYZ, right? You need to wake up, have water, have a keto, mid-morning or lunchtime, have a low-carb lunch. Mid-afternoon, take a second keto, have a low-carb dinner, and then fast between 8 and whatever, right? Give them a plan. That gets them on 2 a day. Some people are going to go right for that. And then if they don't, if they're like, man, I can never afford 2 servings a day, you're like, cool, we have a plan for 1 too. That brings them down. That cuts the price in half. So sometimes they're going to be like, oh, I couldn't afford 2, but I can afford 1, and she still has a plan for me. And then the fallback will be the 10-day or the 5-day, right? That's another option to do. Another option I have heard people do is a mega pack. So they want people to not only experience ketones or NAT ketones, but they want them to experience NAT ketones with cream and with electrolytes, which I think it's a great idea to send electrolytes with your 10 days. Obviously, you have to include the pricing in that. So one example of that would be, and you can manipulate this however you want to. If you just want to send electrolytes and no cream, figure out what you think would have that person have an amazing experience. So like an example would be $135 for 10 keto, 10 cream, 10 electrolytes. Then it's like, hey, you can try that 10 pack of ketones for $70 and get your favorite flavor. Or if you really want to feel the full experience of our products, there's collagen in the cream, all of your minerals are in those electrolytes. That's that mega pack that I have available, right? Are you going to get that's expensive objection? Of course, we've all heard it, right? More times than we want to even hear it again. But you could say this is just an entry pack for you to try all of the flavors. Once you find you one you love, you can get 22% off. And what I recommend is getting the 10-day today, excuse me, and set up a smart ship only that processes in 30 days, right? You can cancel it if you want to or change your flavor. What does that do, right? It gets them to go ahead and set up that smart ship in 30 days at the 22% off with whatever flavor they think they're going to like. They get the 10 pack today, and then it leaves them that 10 days. Like after they have the 10 days, they can go on and do their one-time purchase, which will get them 20 days until the smart ship. So that's their 10-day trial, the 20 days for their one time, and that's going to get them right to that smart ship that they've already set up. And what can happen, like they're doing the 10 days, they're thinking what they want on that awesome discount that you just set up for them. And then when a sale pops up, they can get their one-time order after the 10 days, or they can go in if they're like, man, I ordered raspberry lemonade, but I love the heart tart. Maybe I'll just add it on, or maybe they'll switch it. They can do any of that. But I think that's a great way to go ahead and get that set up. They're still getting the 10-day at the price from you. It's setting them up to get it at 22% off. And then it keeps it in their mind. Even if you forget to follow up or you don't have an organizational system for that, which Nick and I are not the best at, they've got it at that 22% off. You've already got that down the line, right? So I think that's a great idea too. I love that idea. And I think it's all about really sharing your passion. People can tell BS when they see it. And so just bring your passion for this product. If I was on there like, and these B vitamins, they really, people are like, what is she doing? Right? But I'm like, man, I'm a mom that is losing my voice and I'm sick and I need all the help I can get. And right here it is, that's different. So I think share your passion. People want to know what you do and follow what you do, not what you're telling them they should be doing that you're not doing, right? So I think finally, another idea, if people are asking about becoming a promoter, which is what we want them to do. We want them to love it as a customer and then ask to become a promoter. You can make your own group for that. Like I talked about earlier, Nick and I have tossed this idea around a lot. We haven't done it yet. You would have to do it just for yourself, right? Because you want, if people are in there and they're joining and And that would be something, information by you, right, in your links and stuff. But you can, when people ask about promoting, you can put them in a separate group for potential promoters. What it does is it lets you have a place where you're putting all stuff business, like kind of what's going on in the business, what's changing, why they might want to be a promoter. I would do a live video, like I said before, sharing how the business has changed your life, because people want to see you, right? You're the person they connected with. They want to see you in there, and kind of make an announcement. Like, when people join, when people do decide to make a promoter, of course, we're going to invite them in the Rhino Squad and announce it there, but announce it in that group, right? Like, people join, everyone sees it, they feel the excitement along with them. And the more people they see doing it, the more exposures they have. And then they're like, okay, I think I'm ready. Like, these people are all making that commitment. They're going for it, right? Like, but make it fun. Like, you want to, being a promoter here is fun, right? Because we get to tune in and feel this positivity and this community. So make it a party, right? Like, there's no obligation, but if you want to learn more, here it is, right? And you can start small. Like, if you're in your head and you're like, man, I have one person that wants to be a promoter, so it's literally going to be me and that person if I start this group. Cool. They'll feel special because they were right there along with you in the beginning when you started this group. So when that group grows and they finally decide to join, you're like, man, that was my very first person, and here she is. She's ready, right? You can do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get started. Zero in on me and you and them, right? This is your group, and this is about them wanting to become a promoter, and make it fun. And so, I think going back to the whole thing, if you don't do it, it's not going to happen, right? Just get going. Like, if your pictures aren't good yet, that can grow. Go back and look at some of my old pictures, right? If you don't start these groups or start somewhere, like, I just wanted to provide some extra ideas that if you guys all along nothing's been like, that's my thing, that's my thing, that's my thing. Maybe these are going to be your thing. So just get going and do some of them, right? So your call to action today, I want you to take one new idea that I presented today, implement it, and then message me or message the person you're working with and let them know you did it so that we can support you. And when you have questions, we're like, oh man, that was cool. She actually started that, and we can be on that journey with you. So we will be back tomorrow. I'm not sure if it will be Nick or myself if I have a voice. So I will see you guys then. And thanks for tuning in.